Hi, I'm Carmen. I'm a teacher, a fellow ADHDer, and a certified life coach. And I started this podcast with the intention of giving ADHDers everywhere a sense of understanding of this super complex neurodevelopmental disorder and to create a fabulous and safe place to share the struggles, the wins, and the newest researched strategies to help you be the you that you've always dreamed to be. Are you ready? Let's get started. It's advertisement time. So if you could just take a look at the app called Anchor, ANCHOR. It's fabulous. It's free and anybody can use it who wants to start a podcast. I highly recommend it. Super easy to use. You don't even have to buy expensive podcast stuff. It's just a wonderful place for anybody like you or me who just wants to start a podcast and doesn't want to buy all the things. It has all the tools. I'm recording this podcast from my phone right now. It's awesome. Check it out. Back to the show. Hey friends, I am super happy that you decided to press play on another episode of Authentically ADHD with Carmen Rest. That would be me. So today I wanted to talk about rest, and this is something that I am still on the journey of learning because rest isn't easy for me personally, and then especially for people with ADHD. It's hard for us to slow down that little motor inside of us to actually enjoy restful activities. So, in this episode, I'm going to go over what is true rest, why do we as ADHDers need it, and how can we rest and recharge the different parts of our minds and bodies. So everybody needs true rest, but when you have ADHD, it's really, really important to schedule regular rest and recharge days. If not days, you can start with periods of time in the day, but I just wanted to kind of throw that out there, that everybody does need true rest, but when you have ADHD, you have to be more intentional about it. So I want to start by saying some statements and seeing if any of them sound familiar. Being unable to move from the TV for 8 hours or more. Hours of mindless scrolling or playing on your phone when sitting down to work. Regularly getting sick with colds or bugs that force you to recover for more than 1 or 2 days. Unable to tear yourself away from a book, puzzle, game, or new hobby. Being more restless but feeling more tired, heightening anxiety. If any of these sound familiar or something similar, more specific to you came to mind, then what's happening is that your brain and body are deciding when you rest because you need it whether you're scheduling it in or not. And if you resonated with any of the things I said, which I'm not going to be inauthentically resonate with some of those things, what's happening to us is that our bodies are just deciding when we rest. And usually instead of, because our brains don't really separate true rest activities and burnout, we end up burning out because we don't schedule that regular rest. So it is like super even unrealistic to expect a neurotypical person to push to their maximum capacity every day, let alone someone who has ADHD. We have access to less of our brain, so we should schedule regular rest and recharge days. When your body forces you, your brain likes to associate it with like wasting time. So not only is your body forcing you to rest, but it comes along with a ton of guilt and shame and feelings that are uncomfortable, and so it's not actually restful. As opposed to enjoying the time when you schedule it, giving you mental permission to play, rest, and do literally whatever you want to do. Hey listener, have you subscribed to this show yet? If you're enjoying it, I suggest hitting the little subscribe button under the podcast main page so that when new episodes come out, they just pop up in your feed, just like the algorithms of Instagram and Facebook when you follow things. So if you like this podcast, go click that follow button. So we need true rest. That has been established. What is true rest? And I'm going to give credit where it's due here. I was taught this by both of my life coaches, Kristen Carter and Josh Coates, and more specifically, this one that I'm going to kind of go over was a model done by Kristen Carter for people with ADHD. So resting and recharging look different for everyone, really. In my interpretation, true rest is the intentional act of restful activity. This can include sleeping, watching movies, walking, hiking, being outside, snuggling up with your favorite blanket, an indulgent treat, maybe like some ice cream or your favorite red wine, to watch a favorite TV show. Basically any activity that you can feel neutral while doing, and it takes no brain power. You can be authentically you. You don't have to put any barriers on yourself. You can be just you, just being there. That is the definition of true resting. True resting is intentional. True resting is quiet. And true resting is shame-free. Lean in here. True rest is shame-free. And I repeat that for both of us because I sometimes forget too. Are you an adult with ADHD who is looking for a program or community to become a part of? Well, I have the answer. Visit ihaveadhd.com/focused and join the Focused program. If you want my link to get some money off, let me know. It has changed my life. Let me know if you want my coupon code for $50 off your membership to Focused, the program for ADHD adults, led by Kristen Carter. Now that I've gone over why we need rest and what true rest is, we can kind of go over different ways of how to rest. First, before you do anything, you need to decide that you are allowed to rest. You have to make the intentional time to do so. Then you have to define what rest really means to you. And then after that, intentionally practice it. I'm still practicing, so it's not going to happen overnight. This way it normalizes it in your brain as something you do. This can be done by intentionally planning rest days, as I mentioned before, or if a full day seems like way too much to start with because like you don't rest at all, try scheduling in restful activities throughout your day. That has been a lifesaver for me to be able to get up and get some, mental rest or some emotional rest if I've just gotten done doing a coaching call, or if I need some mental rest after doing some research and I need to get outside. I'm going to go over those 7 key areas that my coach, Kristen Carter, taught me that are for ADHD. They are key areas that need that restoration of energy because ours deplete faster than a neurotypical brain. So the first key area I want to go over is physical rest. Physical rest can be passive or active. Passive physical rest looks like sleeping, maybe writing or journaling, doing art or meditating, watching TV or reading. And then active physical rest includes yoga, walking, hiking, bike riding, things like that. Any type of rest, remember, no brain power here. So if it's a new yoga, I wouldn't suggest it. Doing some yoga on your own, what feels good to your body, letting your mind take the lead, that's letting it physically rest. Because it's doing what it's naturally wanting to do instead of when you're physically active, instead of physically resting. When you're physically active and, say, following a workout or doing a rigorous run, you're focused on that exercise. So make sure when it's physical rest that you are not necessarily having to use brain power. That leads me right into my second one, which is mental rest. So breaks in the working day to zone out, that's one of my favorites. Literally let your brain do nothing. Stare at the wall, stare out the window, scroll on your phone, like literally mindless things. The next one is sensory rest. We get overstimulated physically, auditorily, and visually. So a break from sound stimulation, I usually need this. So I am a preschool teacher, and there are some days that I drive home in silence because I need that sensory break after a day with the preschoolers that I love so much. But at the end of the day, I need that sensory rest, that silence. Another way that this can look is a break from visual sensory stimuli, such as TV, computer, and phone. So being out in nature, observing art, and things like that. The next one is social rest. So after spending time at parties and things like that, socially, even social events that are smaller, we need time in solace, time free from social norms, and time free from any people that drain us or like conversations that might drain us. The next one is emotional rest. So this is the space and permission to be authentic and free with your feelings. So emotional rest is literally being somewhere that you can be authentic, that you can cry if you need to cry, laugh if you need to laugh, scream if you need to scream, and just let your emotions do their thing. And then the last one second to last one, is spiritual rest. And this is a little bit deeper. Whether you believe in God or not, it can be something along the lines of the ability to connect beyond the physical and feel a deep sense of belonging, love, acceptance, and purpose. Whatever that is for you. You have to define that. That's the key. So finally, creative rest, which for us ADHDers can be complex because it's either a break from the creative if we work in the creative environment, or the allowance of free creativity with no expectations and for no one but ourselves. So enjoying creating or observing art, enjoying nature or creating things in nature, photography. For me personally, it's playing around with my hair and makeup type art. Art that shows self-expression is probably the best one. So just a few tips here at the end. The qualities of true rest. These are the remembers. Remember. So lean in again. This is the last lean in and kind of focus on what I'm saying. The qualities of true rest. Rest is shame-free. No guilt, no shame is allowed. Rest is quiet usually. Rest is slow. Rest is soft. Rest can be enjoyed. It should be. And after resting, true resting, you should feel a sense of refresh and a sense of relief of some of the every day-to-day that kind of trip us up. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, listener. You are the reason I write and record and plan to continue doing so. If you wouldn't mind rating this podcast, if you're listening on Spotify, it's really easy. It would mean so much to me. You can send any feedback or any reviews to my email linked in the show notes. I hope you have a fabulous day. Stay authentic, my friends.